really
Good.
excited about our next presentation. As you've probably already guessed, it's on AI, in fact, AI chatbots, an area that I must admit I myself am very, very fascinated by. I had a play in the sandbox environment with Tala's product a couple of weeks ago, and I was very, very impressed. So I'd love to introduce Tala Chisholm, founder of Pivot Point, and looking forward to what she's going to share with you about AI chatbots and how you can leverage it for your business. Over to you,
Great.
Tala.
Okay, thank you. So today I'll start my presentation with a story, and then later on I have a confession to make. So hang in there for the suspense.
A confession, my God.
Confession. Anyway,
Yeah, we
so
love
a
it.
little while ago, I met someone. That's actually not the
Oh,
confession.
lucky you.
That's the story, right? And he was always available for me, super smart, photographic memory, great writer, artist, listened to everything I said, did exactly as he was told, learned super fast. And I think if that's not perfection, I don't know what is, right? So obviously I'm talking about artificial intelligence, in case my husband...
Oh, come on.
Anyway.
How does bloke feel about that?
And it can be your friend too, right? So
Oh.
a bit about me, 27 years in business. Yes, I am that old. Retail experience
You
with...
don't look it.
Thank you. Light sounds, lighting and audio equipment we used to sell. LSW was a wholesale division. We had an e-commerce, we had rental. I also had a giftware store on the side. We also had other businesses, e-learning, fitness, coaching, haulage, yada, yada. So a bit of experience. I was always the digital person. I was always the nerd in the business. So that's how I got into AI and all of that stuff. Started building chatbots 2018, but we'll come to that in a minute. So the internet has changed our buyer behavior. That's something I've noticed over the last 27 years greatly, because our attention span now is less than a goldfish officially. As of 11 years ago, we were less than a goldfish at 8 seconds. So now we're probably down to 4 seconds, I suspect. Anyway, so what does that mean? We have people are expecting answers in less than 5 minutes at most. And if we do give them answers within 5 minutes, we have a 21 times higher likelihood of lead qualifying and converting compared to give them answers within 30 minutes. Having said that, how many salespeople do you think give answers under 5 minutes? 7%. So 93% of us are leaving money on the table and not giving people answers when they are expecting them, and therefore losing sales. So that brings me to the subject of chatbots, considering that chatbots are the front end of our communication with our customers. On the, the little circle on the bottom, you click it, this thing pops up, and it either has these buttons that you're supposed to guess which button gets you to the right place, and it's very frustrating to use and frustrating to build too, because you've got to be a mind reader. Alternatively, you have a real person on the other end. That's the second option. And of course, the disadvantage with that is the person. You have to employ someone, and what happens after hours, what happens on weekends, and what happens if there's too much work on and you can't keep up, etc., etc. So each have their disadvantages. And that brings us to artificial intelligence. If you've had a play with ChatGPT and Meta AI and Gemini and everything else, you would know of the power of artificial intelligence. And what if you could rent its power and its speed and teach it? Here we go. You can see I'm having good fun playing with AI images. If you sell essential oils, or if you sell cars or windows or anything else you sell, you can just turn that AI into a salesperson for you and work on your behalf. So here's a brief idea on how it works. On the left there, you can see it grabs the information from your platform, whether it's a shopping, e-commerce sort of platform, or WordPress or Wix or anything else like that, plus a bunch of frequently asked questions that you might wanted to learn, and a bit of training from our side. And all of a sudden, you've got a robot that knows all about your products, your pricing, your stock levels, everything and anything that you want them to know. And at the same time, they can collect information and push it to a CRM like Klaviyo and MailChimp and other integrations like Zapier, etc., etc. So how does that look like? It looks like that. This is an example, a test sort of example that I created on my own one. So the question of the user is, are your chatbots using AI? Simple, normal person, human conversation sort of question. And this thing replies back and says yes. And it also asks for the person's name. And then it starts asking questions about what sort of website do you do? What things do you have? So we're talking lead qualification. We're talking about lead capture. Like if you've got a lead magnet or something like that, that you got on the front end, whether it's an e-commerce discount or a ebook that people should be signing up for or whatever, it can collect that information, pass it on to the CRM. The CRM sends the information, and it can also get to the point of recommending, why don't you book a time, because hey, you're a great fit for us, da 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 da. So we're taking the process. It's basically like a receptionist on the front end that actually does what you tell it to do. Another story for another day. So other examples of AI chat assistant or sales assistant could be, if someone's asking about a product, it can start asking them more qualifying questions to understand the requirements so that it can give a better recommendation, like, where do you ride? What sort of requirements do you have? And then recommend a product that's actually a preferred brand. Like, we had an importing business. We wanted to recommend where everything else was equal. We wanted to recommend our own products. So because we make higher margins. So I had to build that in, didn't I? And then, of course, collect the CRM. Once people got what they want, they were more likely to give their CRM information to the chatbot, as to receive the specials or whatever. We also built in help desk integration for, cases where there's a higher volume of traffic happening, and you still want a real person on the other end. The person can still ask, the user can ask for AI, and you still need to talk to a person, or the AI says, you know what, I don't have an answer for this, let me put you through to someone, and then the real person agent could be on the other end answering the questions. Other features that we've added in are more very e-commerce specific, like, giving order details, tracking links, organizing returns, asking, for refunds, or changing things on the orders and things like that are usually very customer service intensive. And we have been able to automate a lot of that as well, simply by someone asking someone on the chat widget like this and getting an answer, getting it actually done. So here are some results. There's one client where we had a 68% reduction in the help desk inquiries. So that's really, like, on a standard sort of salesperson or customer service agent rate, that may be like 50 grand a year nearly, for one person, let alone the rest of the crew. And then, but also the conversations went up. So what was happening is that they were getting less inquiries on the help desk than they are getting with the AI chatbot. People did not want to give their name and email address to have a chat with someone. So they were not having a chat at all. And of course, the times outside of hours was also an issue where they didn't have someone to talk to. So increase the number of conversations and reduction in the help desk inquiries all at the same time for the one customer. In some cases, we've seen a higher customer return rate. In some cases, we've seen average order value has increased. We've seen, in this particular case, it was a preferred brand. I know a lot of these are e-commerce, but it's easy to measure things in e-commerce. So yes, I'm showing you the numbers. So their preferred house, like home brand as such, was starting to sell more. I hope that's because the recommendations were that way inclined. Here's the confession, okay? A confession is I hate doing marketing work. Anything that involves any of the following things, like content creation and brainstorming, and oh my God, it kills me having to come up with that stuff just from a blank slate. And of course, if you have used ChatGPT, you know that that's a great place to start. But the problem with that is you have to explain to ChatGPT your life story for it to actually give you something that's remotely relevant and usable, or good quality. So I also added an AI toolkit to this, because we've already got the website content, we've already got the FAQs, we've already got the user conversations in the knowledge base. All we have to do is add a few more pieces of information and You've got a source for brainstorming ideas that are most relevant to the business, and writing content that actually fits exactly the tone and the theme of the business generally. So I thought that was a good idea, at least. Anyway, some clients that we've done business with or that we have put chatbots for is all of those guys. And I've got a QR code as well. If you want us to create a demo for you, a free demo, kind of similar to what we did for BizBackBone, please scan this, or you can just take my number, or here we go, my number, or send me an email, or just ping me. Any available contact method will get to me, hopefully. And that's that.
Well, Tala is definitely on BackBone, and we'll be sending these slides to everyone on the call straight after. Plus,
Perfect.
it'll be on our YouTube channel.
Nice.
And
Sounds
let me
good.
confirm it works. It's great.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Good.
We will implement it.
Sounds good.